Dinosaur Adventure Land in lovely Lenox, Alabama. It is September 27, 2023. Tonight, Wednesday night, we wear red, whack an atheist. Tonight, Mr. Nelson again. I think you're going to enjoy this one. Aron, call in. Okay, we'd love to have you on the program. Let's see. We're on Rumble, Kent Hovind Official, on Genesis Baptist Church on YouTube, or Odyssey, Kent Hovind Official, and a bunch of them listed on on Dr.Dino.com. Okay, we're in Lenox, Alabama, straight north of Pensacola. And we believe God should get the glory instead of the stupid evolution religion. And it's a religion, it's not a science, okay? We're building Dinosaur Adventure Land, 140 acres, where God gets the glory for the creation. And we have hundreds of science lessons. We dug out the lakes with the long-reach excavator, and now we have giant piles of dirt we got to move. So looking seriously for a front-end loader, one of those. If you got one in your closet, please let me know. We'd like to come buy one. So help us out if you would. Okay, tonight, Mr. Nelson calls himself Aron Ra, the sun god. Woo. Okay. You can help us to open for free. Join our 777 club. See, I like what you're doing. I'm going to support them at DrDino.com and make any checks to CSE, Creation Science Evangelism. Whack-a-mole is whack an atheist game based on the whack-a-mole game. It's where we whack them back down. When they stick their head up and say something dumb, you smack them back down. Even kids can learn to play whack-a-mole and whack an atheist. Look, I love science, but there's some dumb stuff in our science books that needs to be whacked back down. Children can learn to play, and they love whack-a-mole, okay? They love whack an atheist, too, okay? Let's see. We wait for an atheist to stick his head up and make a silly claim that his evolution religion is true, and then we whack him back down. In Christian love, of course, okay? We've whacked lots. A few have learned to keep their heads down, and they go on to other topics like flat earth. Good job, Simon Dan. But the rest just getting knocked over and over again, so I taught high school 15 years. You got to sometimes repeat the same thing 25 times. So we'll keep whacking them. So the winner tonight, Mr. Nelson. Aron Nelson says he claimed he legally changed his name to Aron Ra. Whoa, Ra, the ancient Egyptian solar deity. The deities of ancient Egypt, Ra. So Mr. Nelson legally changed his name to be a god. Whoa. Ra, the sun god. He was the king of the deities and the father of all creation. He was the patron of the sun, heaven, kingship, power, and light. He was not only the deity who governed the actions of the sun, he could also be the physical sun itself, as well as the day. Man, this guy's important. Oh, let's see. While he possesses many literal forms, Ra expressed himself differently when combined with other deities. When associated with Amun-Ra, one of the great unknown creator deities, he became Amun-Ra, and presented the raw universal power of the sun. Wow, there he is, the sun god with a snake around the sun. Look at that, the snake. In the Egyptian, these guys were proud of it. They carved big statues of these guys with the snake. Oh, look at that. He really does. He got it on his finger, a tattoo. He does think he's God, man. Well, legally change the name. I called Alabama. What's the cost to change your name? Said it's about $35. Fill out this form. Request to change name. Your current name, Kent E. Hovind. I don't have a middle name. My parents couldn't afford it, so all us boys just got an E. Okay. Change the name. What do you want my new name to be? Dr. Kent, the creation science genius. Now, Mr. Nelson wants me to call him Aron Ra. Would you call me Dr. Kent, the creation science genius, if I legally change my name? Aron? Come on now. Why do you want to do this? To reflect the obvious truth. There's a creator. Yeah, and I'm a genius at it. Okay? So obviously that's what my name ought to be. What do you think, Joe? $35, that's worth it. Previous name, Kent E. Hovind. New name, Dr. Kent, the creation science genius. I like it. Anyway, let's see. $25. If he can claim to be the king of all the gods and the father of creation and change his name to show that he really believes that he is, I can certainly claim to be a creation genius, can I? Yeah, fair's fair. Come on, Mr. Nelson, okay? You claim to be a science communicator. There's no science to support your evolution religion. Science is what we can observe, study, test, and demonstrate. Now, the blue beard fascinated me. I thought, is this becoming a fad to dye your beard blue? Well, fine with me, okay? Let's see. What on earth? I guess some people have lots of time on their hands. Oh, no, that one is sweet. You look so sweet, honey. Yeah, okay. No, oh, there we go. Oh, now there we go. Okay. Anyway, he says he's a science communicator. There's no science to support evolution. Let me play a little bit of his clip that he did right here. Come over here and hit Captain Bluebird, or Bluebeard, I'm sorry, right here.
Hi, I'm Aron Ra. I'm a science communicator and atheist activist advocating secular policies and rational education. Over the last...
Wait a minute. It's rational to teach the kids we all came from a rock 4.6 billion years ago? You're advocating for rational education. Aron, try again.
Dozen years or more, I've formally interviewed several creationists, flat earthers, and other science-denying religious extremists. I participated in protests and demonstrations at a number of state capitals, and as a Texas resident, I've given testimony to the State House and to the State Board of Education to promote evolution and to counter the imposition of religious fundamentalism in public schools, especially when they're teaching science, sex, or social studies.
All right, hold on. Before we puke, let's get back here and to right here. So he says he's a science communicator. Okay, no one has ever observed a dog produce a non-dog or a cow produce a non-cow. You believe it happened long ago and far away, but that's fairy tale stuff, not science. Let me try to explain what science is to you, Mr. Nelson. You are a fairy tale storyteller, not a science communicator. You are a zealot for your silly evolution religious cult and nothing more. Okay? What is science? Science comes from the Latin word scientia, or seer. What do we know? Well, we know dogs produce dogs. We know that, okay? Any system of knowledge that is concerned with the physical world and the phenomena that entails unbiased observations. Okay? When have we observed a dog produce a non-dog? When have we observed that? It's never been observed. We know from hundreds of years of observation that dogs make baby dogs. Always. No exceptions. Now, if you wish to believe dogs came from a non-dog, that's your business, but it's not science. I'm sorry, you are not a science communicator. You are a religious zealot. You understand? Nothing more. Okay? Science is knowledge gained from using observations. Where do we see a dog come from a non-dog or produce a non-dog? I know it only happens long ago and far away where nobody can see it. That's how a lot of fairy tales start off. Anybody remember that as a kid? Long ago and far away. Evolution is a fairy tale for grown-ups. How does science differ from other fields? Science is knowledge gained from using observation, experiments to describe the world around us. There are more than, I got the typo there, 250 varieties of cows. Got a comma, okay? They probably had a common ancestor called a cow. That does not prove cows are related to birds and came from an amoeba. Let's see, cows related to birds from an amoeba. Is that what that chart is teaching the kids? That's propaganda, that's not science. Science, from the Latin word scientia, knowledge. What do we know? Well, let's see. Systematic enterprise that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable explanations. Okay, and predictions. I predict if you crossbreed a dog, it's going to give you a puppy. I'll predict that to anybody in the world. Okay? Religions also attempt to understand and explain the world, but religion is not considered science. I agree. And evolution is a religion. It's not science. What is science? How would you define science? Knowledge. Knowledge attained through study or practice. Well, ask any farmer in the world. Their cows make baby cows. Their goats make baby goats every time. There are no exceptions. System of acquiring knowledge. Okay? Go watch. Watch it happen. Okay? Observation and experimentation. Let's see. This chart they teach in the schools is propaganda, not science. You don't know these had a common ancestor. They draw a human and a bird having a common ancestor with a reptile and a ladybug and a pine tree and a worm. That's not science. They drew a bunch of lines on paper is all they did, Mr. Nelson. Oh, and the frogs, and throw the frog in there, yeah, okay. So you claim to be advocating rational education. It's not rational to believe life came from a rock 4.6 billion years ago, which is what you do believe, or that all matter in the universe came from a dot smaller than a proton. That's dumb, okay? You call creationists science-denying religious extremists. I'm a creationist. What science do I deny? It's you that denies science. It's you, Aron, that denies the obvious fact that all plants and animals have always been observed to bring forth after their kind, just like God said would always happen. It's you, Aron, that denies the fact that this evolution dream you have of all life coming from a simple life form has never been seen by anyone in history. You have to imagine that it happened long ago and far away. You claim you gave testimony to promote evolution and to counter the imposition of religious fundamentalism in public schools, especially when they're teaching science, sex, or social studies. Well, it's evolution that is the religion. You should be campaigning to get evolution out of the schools because it's not science, it's a religion. You said you have a panel of like-minded, I added the word deluded, apostates that read through the Bible, revealing all the insanity. Really, let's let him speak for himself here. Okay? Mr. Nelson, take it away.
I've spoken at dozens of conferences, conventions, and rallies all over the country, and in a few other countries as well. And I proudly serve on the board of directors of American Atheists 501c3. I also host video hangouts where I interview famous scientists and promote progressive activists, and where a panel of appropriate apostates help me read through the Bible and the book.
Oh, appropriate apostates. What did I call it? Deluded apostates. Same thing. Okay.
The way we previously read through the Quran, revealing all the insanity within each of these supposedly sacred scriptures. For the past several years, this has been my full-time gig, and I try to do it pretty.
Notice, he's at the 1 minute mark. Okay. From here on, he tries to raise funds. Over 70% of this video is to raise money. Send money. Okay. We'll just watch it and we'll let him talk.
As good as I possibly can be, because science and secularism and our democratic republic have been under relentless attack by increasingly dangerous religious right conservative Christian.
No, religious left atheists like you. They're the ones that were under attack by them. You're the religious zealot, okay?
She was goaded by a coalition of propaganda networks led by extremely rich evangelicals. And their initial...
I don't know these extremely rich evangelicals, man. I got to work every day for my... Never mind, okay.
Misunderstood, misleading, misinformation is overwhelming. We're outnumbered and way outfinanced. Yet we persist because we have to. And even against those odds, we're actually making progress. But whatever part I've played in that is because of you. I also like to thank everyone who supported my first book, The Foundational Falsehood of Creationism. In 2022, I published a second book called We Are All Apes.
I see the resemblance
too, yeah. I bet he posed for that picture. Anyway, I'm going to play a little more, and then I'm going to, let's let him talk some more, okay? So he wrote a book.
It's a brief glimpse into what makes us human, part of the web of life, not apart from it. The original form was posted to Talk.org back in 2004 in response to a creationist and, unbeknownst to him, a fellow ape.
A fellow ape. You really believe that, don't you? I got a surprise for you coming up. Just hang in there, Mr. Nelson. Okay.
This version is updated and illustrated. I have a third book on the way, An Infidel Reads the Quran, which is a pretty brutal critique of that scripture.
Now, that might be worth critiquing. I'm not against that. Okay.
On a personal note, in part because of your support and also the support of my family, I recently finished a Bachelor of Science degree in anthropology from Arizona State University's School of Human Evolution and Social Change. So the fundamentalists who really don't know anything themselves but like to criticize me for not having an education can finally put that in their pipes and smoke it.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, Mr. Nelson. Let's see. Over here. So you have a panel of like-minded, deluded apostates that read through the Bible, revealing all the insanity in the supposedly sacred scripture. Okay. Why don't you and your panel of like-minded, deluded apostates really examine the so-called evidence for evolution and expose all the lies that are used in the textbooks to promote that stupid religion? Why don't you watch my video number 4, Lies in the Textbooks, and say, hey, let's one by one, let's get our apostates together and let's get these lies out of the books. If you don't have any evidence for your theory, I'm sorry, get a new theory. 71% of your show that you did here is begging for money and pushing your books that teach the stupid idea that we are apes. You're not only proud of being an ape, you are proud of finishing your BS, we all know what BS is, from Arizona State. I did some Googling on that, just in my few minutes of spare time, Mr. Nelson. ASU online degrees. Now, you and your apostates criticize me for getting a degree from Patriot University by doing it by correspondence, don't you? Online. Okay. Online Bachelor of Science in Anthropology. This is the degree you got. Okay. Let's see. Earn your BS. Oh, that's the truth. In anthropology. Context of human evolution. Wow. You also learn how to ask important questions about the human species. Well, are humans and apes a different species, Mr. Nelson? Let's see. Become a student of the School of Human Evolution and Social Change. This award-winning online version. We are leaders in the online instruction. Does my Bachelor of Science and Anthropology say online? No. Arizona State University diplomas don't specify whether you earned your degree online or in person. Simple question, Mr. Nelson. Did you earn your BS online? I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just asking for you to be honest and tell us. Did you get all that BS from doing it online? Let's see. I want to go to this one. No. Hang on. Right. Yeah, there it is right there. Okay. So you definitely got the BS. All right. He says he needs all the help he can get. Let me go back to let him talk here. Right over here. Then later you get an MS. That's more of the same. Then you get a PhD. That's piled higher and deeper. We got that behind our cows. Okay.
I do all that I can because I can, and I'll keep it up as long as I have enough support from patrons to do so. But it's always a struggle. I need your help to keep the lights on for my YouTube channel and for all my activism. So if you appreciate what I'm trying to do and the reasons behind it, then please check the details in the description below and click the link to support me on Patreon. I prefer Patreon, but some of you have requested to turn on YouTube memberships as well. So I'm easy. Just click the join button next to my name in this video's title if you prefer to support me through YouTube. There are different perks like early video access described for each level of membership. The link to join as a channel member is also in the description. Or if you prefer, if you don't like long-term commitments, there is another link below where you can also make a one-time donation to my PayPal. Either way, your support is critically necessary for me to continue, and it is much appreciated as I really do need all the help I can get.
You really need all the help you can get. Oh, okay. So let's see. I really do need all the help I can get. Yes, Mr. Nelson, you really do. That's one place we can agree, 100%. I think you need to go see a psychiatrist right away, Aron, okay? Tell him you believe the universe came from a dot exploding. If he's a real trained professional, he won't laugh at you. It's okay. Go see one, okay? Go see a psychiatrist. Tell him you believe life made itself from rock soup for no reason. If he's a professional, he won't laugh at you. It's okay. Go see him. Tell him you believe you are related to a frog and a ladybug, and you have nightmares about your frog ancestor eating your ladybug cousin. Go ahead and tell him. These guys are professionals. They won't laugh at you till you leave. Go see the shrink, Aron. Tell him if you're taking any of these, because be honest with him now, because these pills might be causing your hallucination, okay? All these drugs cause hallucinations. Now, if he's a trained professional, he won't laugh at you, Aron. Go see the shrink. Tell him you believe you are related to an ape and are related to bananas, but you love to eat your relatives. He won't laugh at you, Aron. Let's see. There you go. Humans, bananas, common ancestor. Let's see. Look at this. Look at this. Here we have it, folks. There's proof. Please help me, Doc. Ever since we drew those lines on paper connecting me to the banana, I feel terrible when I eat one. I feel like a cannibal. Just tell him, okay? Can you help me, Doc? Please. I can understand your dilemma, Aron. Call a good shrink, okay? Be sure to tell him you believe you are God. Professional or not. I'd bet $5 he will laugh at that one. We are. Jesus said, come to me, all you that labor and are heavy laden. I'll give you rest. It's not too late. You can still come to the Lord, Mr. Nelson. I pray that you do. You could be a great witness for the cause of Christ instead of claiming to be God. He said, ye shall seek me and not find me. Where I am, you cannot come. There's going to be a time when it's too late, Aron. You say, I know, you've heard all the threats. I'm not threatening you. I'm reading you what the Bible says. I've chosen to believe this book. I've not seen anything in it that's wrong. You've chosen to believe you came from a rock. If any man thirst, let him come and drink. So the Lord has a home for you in heaven, if you'd like it. If you don't, okay. You have to go to hell, because that's the only choice. There is a God, and it's not you. This is the same lie Satan used to Eve in the Garden of Eden. He said, Eve, if you eat off that tree, you get to be God. Read Genesis chapter 1, 2, and 3. You fell for the same lie, didn't you, Aron? Anyway, we're trying to use real science and whack some sense into you. You're not God. You're not related to a banana. God made you, and he's going to be your judge one day. And you can call me. I'll have a debate with you anytime. If there's an honest moderator that shuts off your mic so you can't interrupt, that's your modus operandi. Equal time for each side, no interrupting, no profanity. We'll do it on my channel or Standing for Truth. Call Aron, 855-BIG-DINO, extension 3 if you want to talk to me off the record. I'll lead you to the Lord over the phone. I would love that. Okay, questions or comments? Kent, a lot of material to look at. Aron, several videos to dismantle your theories. It's your material, not you, he's interested in. Well, Crybaby, can you give me a specific? He puts out videos all the time and spews his garbage everywhere. There is no evidence for evolution. See, he wants to divert attention and try to pick on a Bible verse here, Bible. It doesn't matter what the Bible's right for this argument. He wants his religion taught in the school system exclusively. So the burden of proof's on him to prove evolution. I don't have to prove creation or prove the Bible or prove there's no contradictions. So I think I can, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is for him to prove his religion of evolution. He believes those charts that he's related to a banana. He thinks he's an ape. He said so. Crybaby, burden of proof's on him and you. Where's the proof that you're related to an ape? Where has an ape ever had a baby that was not an ape? I mean, they have babies all the time, I believe, don't they? Come on now, show me the evidence. Not long ago and far away, not a fossil. How could a fossil possibly help in that argument? You find a bone in the dirt, you know it died, that's it. You don't know it had any children. You don't know it's intermediate between anything. You can make up a story if you want. So I'm sorry, Crybaby, try again. Okay, what else, brother? Oh, follow-up. Why is it an insult to you to be called an ape? Apes are cool. Crybaby, are you related to a prune? We'll call you a prune from now on, okay? If you're crying all the time, you probably got the prune look on your face, don't you? Okay, David, you have a message that explains what oil is and how long it takes to form. Thanks, listening from Australia. On my video number 1 of my series, Creation Seminar Series, I talk about the age of the earth. I give quite a few, maybe 30 different evidences the earth cannot be millions of years old. And one of them is the fact that oil wells are still under intense pressure. That pressure should have leaked out and dissipated into the ground, fractured the ground, if it was millions of years old. They've done a lot of, I lived in East Texas, Longview, for 5 years. They have oil wells all over that county, Gregg County and those counties there. And a lot of our people in our church worked in the oil field. And they said quite often they drilled into those pockets and poof, if they don't have a blowout preventer in place, it blows the pipe right up out of the ground. So the pressure in the oil wells would come from being there just a short time. And the oil itself probably came from material, living material, animals, etc., that were buried. Huge herds of dinosaurs and other animals would be buried and turned to oil. And it all happened 400 years ago at Noah's flood, not millions of years ago. That's why there's still pressure in the oil wells. Type in frac job or blowout preventer or oil pressure and see. They get up to 20,000 PSI. Put that in your bike tires. Watch what happens. Okay? Any more? Okay. The early humans first migrated out of Africa 2 million years ago. Well, who told you that? You repeating a story you read someplace. I can tell you Goldilocks had 7 dwarfs too. Or no, was it? She had 7? Snow White? Yeah, one of them. Okay. I can make up a fairy tale too. That's a fairy tale you're repeating. You don't know that. Early humans migrated out of Africa. You swallowed the, what was that movie we had to take the yellow pill or something? Or the red pill. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mick, why does Kent dismiss Tiktaalik? It's the perfect example of a transitional fossil. Well, Mick, it's a dead animal. It's all it is. You don't know Tiktaalik had any children, do you? Do you know it's intermediate between anything? Why don't we see an intermediate alive today? Show me one, okay? Show me an animal changing into something else. Science, I read the definition, well, we can observe, study, test, demonstrate. Show it to me today. No apes are producing non-ape babies. No chimpanzees have non-chimpanzee babies. We had squirrel monkeys as pets when I was a kid. They make baby squirrel monkeys every time. They don't turn to human. So Tiktaalik, I think there's been a lot of stuff done on dismantling Tiktaalik on Answers in Genesis website and Institute for Creation Research, ICR.org. They got great articles dismantling that. But from a bigger perspective, no fossil counts as evidence for evolution. When you find a fossil, all you really know is it died. You cannot prove it had any children. You certainly couldn't prove it had children that lived, and you really couldn't prove it had children that lived that were different. Because no animal today can do what you claim these bones can do. No animals can do it, can they? It has to take place long ago and far away where we can't watch it. Yeah, it's not science. Okay? What's the name of the museum? With 19 miles of debunked science books. Haven't heard of that one. Is there one like that? I don't have 19 miles of science books here. I got a lot of science books, earth science, biology, physical science, and a lot of good science in there. I'm not against science, but they've mingled lies in with it. Okay? You know, rat poison is 99% good food. Yeah. That 1% poison will get you. Okay, to talk with Dr. Dino, 855 BIG-DINO, extension 3. I don't have my phone now, but I'll go get it in a few minutes. I'll be glad to talk with you. Is that it? Yes, sir. Okay, tomorrow night, comments on comments. Some of you have been making comments on my channel, and there are some of you that seem to want to take over the channel, and we're just going to delete you, okay? Get your own channel, okay? You're just going to yap all the time. But if you got something intelligent to say, we'll leave it on there. But if you're going to try to take over the channel, sorry, just beep, delete. Never mind. Let's see. But so tomorrow night, comments on comments, that'll be interesting. And then Friday night, making babies. Atheists, listen, I've given you 41 different animals and plants to shoot at. You haven't explained scientifically any of them. What's wrong? Why? You claim you got science on your side. Pick one of the 41 animals or plants that I've done and how they make babies and explain it scientifically. I know why you don't. You can't. You have a religion and you won't admit it.